What is going on, fellow fans of Clash of Clans? 8 years of Clash of Clans is here. It's the 8th anniversary. This is going to be such an exciting episode. So pumped right now. Not only are we going to start the August season pass, but we are also going to take a look back into the early videos of Galadon, the early days of Clash of Clans, and I have to admit, it is pretty embarrassing. But we'll talk about it and how much the game has changed, and I perhaps have changed as well in the past 8 years. Now, of course, we've got the Party King. We're going to go ahead and unlock him right now. We're going to take a look at the Season Pass and talk about the anniversary surprises. That's right, all sorts of epic stuff coming, but let's remember, please, I beg of you, even though I didn't have a cool segue right there, if you have the opportunity to scroll on over to settings, more settings, all the way to the bottom to Creator Boost, type in my name, Galadon, and then they send me about 5% of what you spend. When you get a gold pass, I get about 25 cents. I take half of that and I give it back to you guys and charity. It actually ends up being more than half every single month, but thank you guys so much. This, like I've said before, is going to be the biggest month ever in giveaways, and you've got exciting stuff coming directly from the game Clash of Clans. Specifically, 5 pretty awesome surprises. Let's talk about them. Now, first things first, of course, in the Season Pass, you can see that under the free track, that's right, you don't have to buy the gold pass, you get the Piece of Cake statue. So that is very cool. We are going to collect that here, of course, as we always do on the main account, gem ourselves all the way through the Season Pass on the very first day. But there's 4 very other cool things coming, 4 more more cool things. Anyway, okay, number 2, the birthday obstacle. Of course, there's going to be an obstacle that spawns in your village throughout the month of August. It is going to be the golden cake. No, I don't have a picture of it yet as of the making of this episode, but I can tell you this. It costs 8,888 gold to clear it and gives you 88,888 gold in return. Now, surprise number 3, the trader. That's right, make sure you check out the trader between August 2nd, that's today, and August 6th for free surprise gifts. That's right, his 2 other items will also be discounted, so that's very cool. And then, birthday offers in the shop, August 2nd through August 6th, and they are 8 times the regular value. Make sure that you are using creator code Galadon when you're in the shop buying those insanely valuable offers. And of course, we will show those in upcoming episodes as I'll buy them on multiple accounts. And then last but not least, the 5th surprise is, of course, another 1 gem resource boost. That'll be August 2nd through August 7th. So what do you guys think about the Party King? Personally, I think, you know what, we kind of had the ice broken with the Party Wizard, and now we've got the Party King. I think that he works. I am a fan. I'm going to go ahead and say, you know what, I'm pumped for the 8-year anniversary of Clash of Clans. Never did I imagine when I first started making these videos that this would be where the game would be and where I would be 8 years later. It is absolutely insane. I'm completely shocked. So yes, I'm pumped, I'm excited, I am lucky, I am blessed, I am thankful, I am grateful, I am overwhelmed. Every single time I live stream, every single time I take a look at the comments, you guys, the love I have for you, you have no idea, okay? I appreciate you guys so much. I love every single one of you, and I hope that you feel that in these videos. You guys have changed my life in more ways than many, okay? And I will talk about that in just a minute as we show you, that's right, one of my earliest videos ever. And as a little gift to you, the viewer, I've decided to unveil an entire library of my early videos that have been unlisted for many years. So watch for another video. I'll talk about that later on this week, and I will give you the link and you can check out a playlist. That's right, it's an entire playlist of videos that were forever concealed since the early days of my channel. So, okay, there is the Piece of Cake statue, and okay, I mean, I was kind of hoping that it would be animated, like the little statue would like eat the piece of cake, or it would crumble, or just give me something. No, nothing at all. Okay, so it's gonna sit there, and that's fine, and we will go ahead and leave it in the village, continue to put it in the anniversary alley. Now, so we're going to get into the old videos, and this will be one of my oldest videos that you're going to see, but I thought it would be fun to show first a modern day. This is Clash of Clans today. Here is a maxed out Town Hall 13 defense against a maxed out Town Hall 13 attacking. And here's actually Galadon, you know, showing some skills. Maybe not the best skills in the world, but, you know, some pretty good spell timing and placement, a pretty fair queen charge. They got in, got the town hall down, and some pretty good value. So yeah, it's exciting. The game is pretty complicated, but at the same time right now, I would say one of the biggest changes, and this is interesting, because of course the game is more complicated, right? But back in the day, the old days of Clash of Clans, the game was much, much harder. And I know that sounds like counterintuitive because wait a minute, the game's more complicated now, but it was harder back then. And I think it was because the balance between offense and defense back then was much, much closer. Nowadays, offense is much stronger. It is difficult to lose an attack when you're going max versus max at Town Hall 13, but also it's difficult to grab a 3-star. Back then, it was practically impossible, and I'm talking about like 2012, 2013. The very best players in the world were gunning for 2-star attacks at maxed out Town Hall 10, which was the max back then. The top league was Champion, and we'll get into that in just a second. I'm not looking forward to this, to be honest with you guys. Now, I will tell you this. When you see the old video and you hear the old Galadon voice, just remember that, you know, it's the same me. It's just I had a little less confidence back then. This was never something that I was meant to do. This was something that I think I got better at over time. You know, it wasn't like people said, oh, Galadon, you've got such a great voice. You should be on radio. You should be on TV. That never happened, okay? Well, okay, maybe I was told I had a face for radio, but that's another story completely. But I'm just saying that it's weird how you can learn anything. You can get better at anything if you try hard enough, if you give it enough time and practice and effort. And I guess this is just a little bit of a life lesson for everybody else out there who maybe has something in mind, something that they would like to do and they doubt themselves. You think maybe, I don't know if I'm good enough to do that. I don't know if I'm smart enough, if I have the talent or the skill or the ability. You do. You absolutely do. You just have to stick to it and you have to dedicate yourself towards that goal. And it will happen. I promise you guys that, okay? So, this is Galadon 13.0. This is my second nearly maxed out account. You'll see that it's down to just the walls, and we will cover that in a future video. This was originally a Fix That Russia account, right? So now here we are. And now, this is the interesting part where we segue into the old video, and that is this base design is what many call a Southern Teaser. Now, Southern Teaser is something that I helped coin way back in the early days of Lost Phoenix. And if you remember Lost Phoenix, you might remember my old videos. Here we go.
Hello, it's Galadon again with Clan Lost Phoenix. Today bringing you 2 attack videos. Let's get right down to it.
Yes, this is actually my voice. I promise you, that is me about 7 years ago.
Both of these attacks are on a base that we in the clan call Southern Teasers.
Cool, right? 7 years later, here we have a very similar base design to what I'm running now on 13.0. The idea that the bottom kind of entices you to attack from the south. And let's just get into it here.
I know I've talked about these bases before and attacked them before in my attack series.
Yes, my attack series. God forbid anybody ever watched those videos and tried to use them to get better at the game.
Today we're going to show 2 of them approached from slightly different directions. Now I've attacked from the south or the southeast before, so today, this video, we're going to concentrate on coming through all those thick walls towards the north. A couple of unsuccessful attempts to get the attention of the king and the queens.
Okay, if you're not familiar with what that meant, back then the king and the queen would patrol their little area, but once you got their attention, once they saw a troop and went after it, then they would leave and they would path all the way to the outside of the base. So it was very easy to take out the heroes and the clan castle early with a little bit of work. Unfortunately, Galadon just like spams a couple of troops and then gives up.
So I just go ahead and get right down to business. Today we came straight from the due north, went for that first defensive structure there, sent in all the troops kind of together under rage.
Kind of together, Galadon? No, you mean you spammed every single troop in the same spot and tried to call it a strategy. What the heck?
A lot of CC troops coming out. I've kind of gone away from using lightning spells and it hasn't seemed to have hurt me much yet.
Okay, that actually means I'm too lazy to use any sort of strategy here. I would rather just let the clan castle troops pour out instead of drawing them out and using a lightning spell back like everybody who was good used to.
Under Rage, with all those units, they pretty much wipe out those clan castle units pretty quickly. We've made quick work of the outer layer or two of walls with help from the wall breakers, and now we're just going to count on Rage. Now, here was a kind of a lucky shot. I got the king, the queen, and that Inferno Tower all in that first freeze spell.
Okay, so that's kind of interesting because it's actually the first thing I did right in the attack, right? I use good spell timing and placements, and the freeze spell goes down and it works, and I call it lucky.
By the time it wears off, the queen is history. Units are in through that inner wall, and we're right next to the tower.
Okay, freeze it. Check it out right here. This proves that Galadon was ahead of his time, okay? Notice where the freeze spell is, okay? That very carefully placed freeze spell froze the heck out of that Town Hall 10 and the Inferno Tower, right? Now, you notice that I could have frozen the Inferno Tower and the Expo behind it, which was firing on my troops, but no, we froze the Town Hall. This is pure living proof way back in 2013 that Galadon knew that town halls would someday be weaponized.
The third rage spell is in place perfectly for the king and the queen to just decimate that town hall, and now it's pretty much academic again.
Okay, a couple of things. First things first, the word decimate, come on, 50-cent word, am I right? Now, the funny thing is I still really enjoy using that word decimate, but then I say it's academic again. In other words, I have no control over what happens in this raid because I spammed all my troops and spells at the very beginning, and I'm just going to sit and watch it, kind of hope that things go my way.
As units just go to work on the rest of the structures that were inside the main enclosure there.
Swell the dramatic music here because I have nothing else to say. Also, it's actually kind of funny. Do you know why these videos were unlisted for so many years? These soundtracks, the music you hear, is from World of Warcraft. And back then, I thought for sure that my video was going to get copyright strikes for using this music, even though it was my favorite game pretty much of all time leading up to Clash of Clans. I just had no idea, so I thought, oh, I better hide all these videos so I don't get in trouble.
They've managed to survive because most of the heavy defenses are to the south, so we easily get 50% once that town hall is down. You can see all of the really powerful splash defenses down there. All the wizard towers are still intact. Lots of cannons didn't even really factor in on this battle. Alright, we'll move right along to the second attack, which is a very similarly structured base.
Dear Lord, not another one. You're going to put us through another minute and a half of this torture, Galadon? Okay, now, I know that some of you are wondering how the heck did this guy grow this channel to nearly 2 million subscribers over the past 7 years? I sometimes think the same thing.
Another southern teaser, almost exactly the same to the south.
But no, seriously, actually, I will tell you this. Okay, so a couple of things. First of all, I do believe I had what's called the first mover advantage. And being one of the earliest content creators for Clash of Clans, there was virtually no content out there at the time like this. Back in the early days of YouTube, of course, Chief Pat came along early, but he was really focused, if you're familiar with his videos, on the Goblin maps. Godson was around, but he was really focused on farming. You had a couple of other YouTubers out there, but nobody was really covering endgame content, like top league content at the time, players who had probably gemmed their bases, and yeah, so that was kind of my niche. And I think that a big part of the reason my channel took off was A, that I was early to create content that wasn't really out there, and 2, I honestly believe that just sticking to it, not giving up. It was many, many months after I started creating these videos before I had any sort of traction through social media or YouTube at all. In fact, about 7 months into making these videos, I had around 7,000 subscribers. So it's a good lesson to say, hey, never give up on your dream. If you focus, if you don't give up, you can make things happen.
North, a little bit different. So we come from the northeast this time, but you'll notice what happened is the golems split up and they went for the closest defensive structure that was outside of the walls. So we pretty much will just have to forget about that golem that went to the right there, focus on coming from the north with that first rage, make sure that the rage lands and we can take out the opposing royals quickly. And luckily they do. Make quick work of the king and queen.
Okay, I've got it. I figured it out, you guys. The magic, the secret, the key to growing this channel was, it's true, insomniacs used to watch my channel in order to get to sleep. People that had a hard time getting to sleep at night could watch one Galadon video and sleep all the way through peacefully and soundly without waking up.
Now we've dropped our second rage spell with the intention of getting into the main enclosure. We notice we've gotten rid of the last defensive structure that was outside of the main enclosure, so the next closest is going to be that cannon that they've targeted.
Okay, I can't take this anymore, okay? I honestly can't. So I'm going to tell you guys that yes, you can, if you want, watch for the unveiling, the unleashing, the releasing, the re-releasing of my unlisted hidden playlist, okay? So that'll come in a couple of days. I will show that to you guys. I've got a screenshot. There is also a surprise video in there that has to do with Peter $17 that none of you will have seen unless you've been following the channel since about 200,000 subscribers, which was many, many years ago. But so, yeah, I've definitely gotten better, I hope, since then in both talking and in playing the game. But I will tell you this, in all honesty, you guys, a lot of this comes down to simply just having confidence in yourself and being yourself. And back then, I'll admit, I was shy, I was unsure of myself, I hated the way my voice sounded, and those things came through in the recording. So another piece of life advice I might offer up both for YouTube content creation and in life, in romance and in everything else, just be yourself. Don't worry so much about what other people think of you or how they perceive you. Just relax, be yourself, and it's going to pay off every single time. Unless you're a jerk. But I'm sure there's no jerks that are watching this video. Okay, now real quick, right here, I wanted to say this was such an exciting moment that happened in Clash of Clans. I should have dedicated an entire video to this. Notice that Clans United is first and North 44 is second. This was, at the time, the most exciting end of the season that had ever happened in the history of the game, because North 44 had always won every single season. They would win top trophies. And for the very first time, at the last second, these players got together, made a clan called Clans United, and Clans United defeated North 44 for the very first time for top clan. And I was part of it.
Shout out to my friends at Clans United, a super clan that we put together in the final days before the ending of the last clan tournament. Dozens of champions from clans all over the world came together in what was an amazing act of cooperation, and we managed to take North 44 off of their repeated top spot in the league standings. It was great to meet all you guys. It was a really good time had by all, I think. Everybody was very cool, and boy, it was exciting those last few minutes as North 44 tried to come back. But we managed to eke it out with a clan that ended up with more than 37,000 trophies.
So there you have it. 8 years of Clash of Clans, over 7 years of videos from yours truly. Thank you guys so much for watching. Get ready for more exciting surprises this month and the unleashing of my hidden video series. Thank you again, Galafam, for sticking around all the way to the end of the episode. I know it sounds just like I did 7 years ago, so stay inside, wash your hands. If you go outside, wear a mask, be kind to the people, animals, and I'll see you back here again tomorrow for more full attacks. I think you sound the same, just like I sound the same in those old videos.